Welcome, everyone, to the Directed IRA podcast. This is Matt Sorensen, joined by the incredible Mark J. Kohler, and we are here to talk about what you can and cannot do with the self-directed IRA. The nice thing is there's not a lot of restrictions. I think a lot of people, when they think of IRAs and they're used to buying a stock or a mutual fund, then they're like, wait, I can buy real estate? I can invest in a small business? I can invest in a private fund or crypto? They're like, there's got to be a lot of rules about what you can and can't do, and surely you can't do this stuff.
Oh, you mean your stockbroker wasn't correct when they said there's all these rules, watch out, you're going to go to hell? Or Jim Cramer on Mad Money saying that the last thing you want to do is self-direct because you'll lose everything? It's really not that bad?
It's not that bad. But the nice thing is there's not a lot of restrictions, but there are some really important rules you do need to know on the other hand. So let me hit the things you cannot buy with an IRA. This is the first thing. What can I not buy with an IRA? This is in the tax code in section 408. The first thing you can't buy is collectible items, okay? Collectible items are restricted as an asset for your IRA. When retirement accounts first came out, you could actually buy like art. You could buy a collectible car. The problem was there was a lot of abuse happening, and so Congress later came back and said, you know what, for your retirement account, 401k, IRA, you actually can't buy a collectible.
Number two, let's go to the S Corp, because the S Corporation is built for you entrepreneurs out there as an operational business. They're built for the small business on Main Street America. They're not, S Corps are not built to be owned by an IRA, and hence your IRA cannot open an S Corporation. Now, we're going to talk about your IRA or 401k, these self-directed retirement accounts can do business, but it's going to be in a different format. And we're going to teach that in some other sections here. But you cannot buy an S Corp. You cannot buy collectibles. Is there anything else?
You can't buy life insurance with an IRA. Not that you were coming to learn how to buy life insurance with your IRA, but that's it. So, okay, so let's just take those off the table. Collectibles, S Corporation stock, and life insurance. That's it. Everything else that is an investment asset qualifies, and I want to make sure everyone understands that. We're not talking about buying personal assets you're going to have use of. So when we say you can buy real estate, we're not talking about buying real estate that you live in. We're talking about buying real estate for investment purposes.
Yes, and now it's not so much about what you buy. It really is about how you buy.
And who.
Who
is involved here? For example, if I'm buying real estate.
Okay, first rule then.
Yeah.
Let's do who first? Is that what you want to do?
Let's do who first.
Okay.
Because that's really what it all comes down to, is the who.
It's who you know. It really does. It's who you know.
And you know who you shouldn't be doing business with, okay? Because this is called the Prohibited Transaction. Well, this is 4 chapters in my book, but it's not that complicated. The basic principle is when your IRA is buying, let's say, real estate, the IRS wants to know who's selling that real estate to your IRA. Who's renting that property when you turn it into a rental? Who's the contractor doing the rehab? And essentially what the IRS has said, and Congress, as they wrote this prohibited transaction rule, is we don't want your IRA transacting with someone who is considered a disqualified person. And we're going to go through that list on what is a disqualified person. But that includes you, by the way. So for example, you can't sell real estate that you currently own personally to your IRA.
And I want to add another perspective again. We talked about what you can invest with. So let's just sticking with that. If I'm going to do an investment through my retirement account, how do I acquire it? Who can I acquire it from? There's going to be a lot of how-tos on the transactional piece in our 10-part series. But let's just talk about who can I buy that investment from? And I like that you point out, first, you cannot buy from yourself. And give us a list. Who are these disqualified people that are so bad?
Yes. Pretty much it's who the IRS doesn't trust you doing deals with, okay?
Yourself?
Yeah, so they start with yourself, okay? They also include your spouse. Then your parents are also on the list of disqualified persons. Your grandparents are on the list. Your kids, spouses of your kids, okay? These are all disqualified people. So for example, we'll have sometimes clients call up and say, hey, I want to buy this rental property. My kid's going to college. I'm going to buy a rental in the college town and my kid's going to live in it. Well, you can't do that either because now your kid's a tenant who would be paying rent to your IRA and your child is a disqualified person to your IRA.
Now, I want to step back to here too, because some of you are like, all right, this whole thing sucks. You guys bait and switch. You make self-directing sound so great, and then you tell me all these rules, screw it. Okay, whoa. All we're telling you is let your IRA go make a lot more money than a stock, bond, or mutual fund. But as soon as you start to think, oh, I can game this, I can use it, I can work on it, stop.
Yeah.
That's the line we're just saying. No, we're not saying your IRA can't go out there and kill it. I looked at my IRA this morning, my Roth IRA, by the way, XRP. Unbelievable. Great day. I also have an IRA that owns some real estate. I'm like, oh my gosh, the market's going up in that area. So I can make money in my sleep in my IRA better than I would ever make in the stock market. Just stop when you start to think you're going to benefit from it personally or benefit your mom, your dad, or I'm going to let my kid go to college and live in my IRA rental. No, that's where the line is.
Yeah, and Mark was really just illustrating the spirit of the law, okay? All right. The spirit of the law here in this prohibited transaction rule is don't try to get all this personal benefit and use out of it. Buy stuff in your IRA and have it invest to make money in your IRA, okay? Not to have personal use or benefit or let my kids stay there or let me help out my construction company or don't do that. Now, most people, frankly, that come to this strategy aren't thinking of that, but
it would be a temptation.
It is a temptation for some, okay? Some can't help themselves. They are the real estate agent. They are a contractor. They wanted their kid to stay here for college, and this is where these rules become important. So what I would say is, if you're just out there to go make great investments and you're going to go get the best price possible, buy the best property, you're not going to try to, get in the mix personally with the commission or working on the property, you're going to be fine. Now, we've talked a lot about real estate, but we could be talking about buying and investing in a private fund, a private company, a small business, crypto.
What you can do with your retirement account, it is so exciting. So I think you've eaten the frog, you've done the work to understand what these parameters are. Now we can go play on the field.
Yeah. Now it's exciting because really this is the big rule. And I think this prohibited transaction rule is the number one rule. As a lawyer that's advised clients, Mark and I have both done 10,000 consults with clients that want to use an IRA to go buy real estate or some other alternative asset. 90% of what you can't do comes down to that prohibited transaction rule we've been talking about. But that's it. So if you're like, I just want to make a great investment, invest in assets I believe in, and use my retirement account. There's $40 trillion in U.S. retirement accounts. I want to take my little sliver of it and grow it to be as big as possible. You have a ton of opportunity. You just need to know a little bit, okay? And once you learn that a little bit, it's the same thing over and over again. Now, we're going to teach a lot more strategies on how to use an LLC. Like Mark said, how to partner with other people. These could even be some of these disqualified people, your spouse or your kids. How do I partner with them? What are some of the tax things I need to know? Make sure I avoid some of these tax issues that can sometimes come up. So we're going to be covering that in the future episodes. So make sure you're subscribed to the podcast and following us. We're going to be providing lots of updates.
Yep. Thanks, everyone, for listening. And also, don't forget, give us a little 5-star, 2 thumbs up, 10 out of 10, 5 out of 5, whatever the hell. And spread the good word. Help us change the world. Thanks, everybody, and we'll see you next week.